Sup, everybody? It's Lord Magicus, and today is Legacy Day. So, give me 1 second here. We'll get prepared. Uh, 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 we should be good to go here. Everything looks like it is operating correctly. Good, excellent. I love when a good plan comes together. Okay, deck list is here. I believe that this is all Gucci. All right, excellent. There we go. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, we're going to play some Merfolk in Legacy. So, Ragavan did get banned from Legacy, and that update should be live now. So, we're going to go play some Legacy leagues, and, yeah, let's play it, take this through a league, and see how we do with this. Merfolk in Legacy. All right, so we haven't talked about it in a while. Biggest difference is that Legacy, we get to pick up two of our most powerful cards here. Force of Will, and I think everybody knows what this card does. You're familiar with Force of Negation. Well, this is the original daddy. And we have True-Name Nemesis, the former boogeyman of Legacy, now just relegated to, it's a player. Unfortunately, now the Plague Engineer exists. This card is a lot weaker than it used to be. But it still is really damaging when, they don't have a good way to deal with it. Like, if they don't have a sweeper or, like, an engineer or something, this can get out of hand really easily. And we can cast it uncounterably with Cavern of Souls and also Aether Vial. Make it very difficult for the opponent to deal with. And the beauty of this, too, is we have Glasspool Mimics now in our list, so we can copy it. Instead of playing Phantasmal Image, we get to play Glasspools to copy True-Name. So we can tick Vial up to 3, and we actually have a lot of 3s to put in with this. We've got 4 True-Names, 4 Glasspools, and 2 Svyeluns. I'm going to try Svyelun here. Some people have been trying Hullbreacher in this slot, which I think is reasonable. Hullbreacher sort of fills the same role as like Chalice of the Void, in that it's really good against the cantrip cartels. So if your opponent like casts a Brainstorm into a Hullbreacher, that is fucking brutal for them. If that Brainstorm resolves while Hullbreacher's out, they are screwed. Because you're going to get treasures instead, and they're not going to get any cards, and they're going to lose 2 cards. So same thing with like Ponders and, Preordains. If they're drawing cards, Hullbreacher is definitely a way to stop them from doing it. I don't necessarily believe in Chalice of the Void as much. Used to be very, very good for Legacy, but Prismatic Ending is just really, really good at removing it. And, any deck that's like splashing for Ending, which admittedly is, it's a really, really good reason to splash for it. They're not going to have any trouble removing Chalice. So I'm hoping that Hullbreacher can sort of fill that role a little bit. But the other thing is that, the Delver decks, so they have like dazes too, where you tap out in turn 2 to play your Chalice, and like they'll daze it, and it's like, okay, well, that's not great. So it's not like it sticks easily, but the advantage that Hullbreacher has there is it's a Merfolk, so you can play it uncounterably through Cavern of Souls. So, and if you tick Vial up to 3, you can Vial it in uncounterably that way. You followed before you had to do it again. That's weird. I don't know why that's like that, but I appreciate you being here, Cosmic Sauce. So, yeah, I'm putting 4 Brazen Borrowers in here. This could very easily be like a mix of other stuff too. But I like this because we want bounce effects against Murktide. You could try something like Harbinger. You could try like Vapor Snags in here. Since we don't have Chalice, you could play something like Snagmane or Echoing Truth. I'm choosing Brazen Borrower just because the 3/1 flying is nice. It can block with either a Channeler or a Delver and trade with them. And it also bounces Murktide. So this card is very good against Delver. But it's also it's insurance against stuff like Merit Lodge too. So it's going to help us build a tempo game. We back it up with stuff like Trickster to slow them down. So, yeah, we've got a pretty good shell here. I'm only going to play 2 Mutavaults here. I don't want to overdo it because I want to get the 3 mana a lot, so I am not going any less than 12 islands. 12 basic islands, that's the call. Tide Shaper is taking over a 1-drop slot. We don't really need, like, Curse... Well, I mean, Curse Catcher is fine, but it's... The thing is, like, if you do go up against Plague Engineer, it's so terrible when your catcher dies. Whereas Tide Shaper can come in as a 2/2 against a lot of those decks, and so it won't just immediately die. But this is also a main deck answer to stuff like Glacial Chasm, and it can get you through a bunch of nonsense that otherwise you didn't really have a good interaction for, so it's kind of cool. So, Armchair General, the cat not getting... Oh, fuck. I put out a video about that. You should definitely watch my YouTube video on it. The MTG Rock Talks, the state of... You know what? I'm going to link it here. Because this is something that I put together, and I did a fair amount of research into it. Here we go. I highly recommend, after this, go watch this, because I think I understand the main problem that we have right now. It is that the modern players do not have they don't have a vision from Wizards of the Coast as to what the format is supposed to be. And Aaron promised that to us and did not deliver it for 2 years now, after already telling us that, it's totally reasonable to ask for that. And that's the source of the division. That's why the design changed, but Wizards never really said anything about, how they're updating Modern's goals to accommodate for the changes in design. So that's why you have so many people that like the companions, especially like Laris, and so many people who hate it. So, but I get into all that in this video, and you definitely should go check it out. But I know tensions are still probably kind of high over Laris, and they probably should be. I think the card is, like, objectively just it is super warping the metagame, and like it's like Oko and Uro all over again. We've had this experience where, like, the metagame warps around these cards, and, like, some people like it and some people don't. It's already at, like, almost 40% of all the decks are playing Luris, so I don't know what you want. And it's not like it's not winning either. It's like 30% of the winning challenge decks are Luris decks. So clearly there is a very fine line. And towards the end of this video, I talk about some of the numbers for these decks, and it doesn't look like Modern is getting more healthy. If anything, it's coalescing into like a 3-deck format, and that's not good. I suspect Modern Nexus will put out an article towards the beginning of next month about January stats, and my prediction is it's not going to look very good based on what I'm seeing. So yeah, anyways, all of that, and definitely go check out that video, MTG Rock Talk, the state of Modern. I want to do more stuff like that, but I'm kind of limited in that because I only want to do videos like that where I think I have something worthwhile to add, and like I think I understand fundamentally what the problem is here, and I'm doing my best to try to, like, stay neutral as much as I can in these things. So it's not like an angry rant. It's more, descriptive of the problem. So that's the direction I want to kind of go with that stuff. So, but yeah, we're at least Legacy got something. So the Legacy did lose Ragavan. So I guess we should talk about that impact a little bit. Ragavan definitely was a huge problem for Legacy. Definitely pushing the Delver decks over the top. Still, though, like, I don't know that banning only Ragavan is going to actually change Delver very much. The only difference is they're going to drop Ragavan, like, they lose Ragavan, so they'll just start playing actual Delver of Secrets again, because they didn't need Delver. With Murktide, Channeler, and Ragavan, they actually did not need to play any copies of Delver of Secrets in the main deck. So all that's going to happen is they're just going to bring Delver back, and it's going to be the same nonsense all over again. So I don't think that it's going to really fix the underlying problems that Legacy has. But, I mean, it's not like banning Ragavan's going to hurt it either, because I think that was part of the problem. But I think more long-term you have to look at stuff like Daze and Prismatic Ending and the effect that they have on the format, and I don't know what the right answer is. I know I've seen some people suggest, like, either one or both of those cards, or, a couple others. but it's kind of crazy because you look at the shell that the blue-red deck has been doing. Like, they added so many cards. They had added Ragavan, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Murktide Regent, Unholy Heats, and Expressive Iterations. Like, half the deck was just printed in like the last year. So it's crazy, absolutely just ridiculous how much stronger it got in such a short period of time. But it was already a really, really strong deck, so it's not losing a whole lot by banning Ragavans. And that's, yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes. But it's one of the reasons like I'm interested in playing 4 borrowers here, because I think like this card is gonna help against that deck a fair bit. I want the tricksters to slow it down. I want the borrowers to slow it down. Even in the sideboard, I can bring in Vapor Snags and Hullbreachers to try to help with that a little bit too. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so the sideboard is just, we have Graveyard Hate here because, you never know when you're going to run into like Reanimator or Hogak or something. Like I said, Hullbreacher is going to be good for the Cantrip Cartel. Forces, you need these just for the combo decks because a lot of times Reanimator's just force checking you. So if you have 2 forces in your opening hand, you probably win that game. And if you don't, then you probably lose. So we just want as much redundancy there as possible. Yeah, and then we have like Gutshot. This should actually help quite a bit with like Death and Taxes and maybe even Elves. Might save us a little bit there. So I don't think that we have like any reasonable chance of beating Elves, but if there was a chance, then it definitely requires us to be playing a card like this, because Allosaurus Shepherd cannot be allowed to live. If that card lives, you have 0 chance of winning. So but we have interaction for creatures, and especially like Taxes. Taxes is a pretty big deck, and Gutshot's actually, it kills off a lot of relevant stuff in that deck. So I'm interested in trying that to see how much that helps. Otherwise, yeah, we got a pretty clean list for this. So yeah, Svyelun, it's similar to True-Name in that it's intended to be kind of sticky, but it's also generating us a little bit of card advantage against some of these grindier decks. Yeah, being indestructible means we have another good block. It doesn't die to Plague Engineer, which is also a pretty big deal too. So, all right, let's go and take this out. We've talked long enough. Where is here? League. We got to get there. Yeah, we're here to play, not shoot the shit. We can do both at the same time. So, also, important thing to note, if you are intending to play SCG Philadelphia, if you want to play Legacy on Sunday, you need to sign up soon, because Modern on Saturday is almost completely like full up, and Ben Blyus had said that the Legacy event is getting there too, so like it's starting to fill up. So register sooner rather than later. Oh no, they're playing against Motown, huh? Okay. I don't know that this hand is going to be all that impressive here. We have like 5 mana sources. I think we want a mulligan here. This is actually worse. Alright. Now we're going to keep this. I guess we're going to do this. So we are on the draw here. Alright. Okay. Let's play Island Pass. And we'll probably jam out an uncounterable Silvergill Adept. Try to draw some more lands. Yeah, this was not terribly great starting off here. What are you up against? Roiling Vortex. Okay, so it looks like we might be playing against Burn. I'm actually okay with that. The only thing that sucks is we're not casting Force of Wills in, in this game. So I don't think that it matters what I play. I think I'm going to play Cavern just to be sure. Alright. I will reveal another Silvergill. I'll probably play Svyelun, and then hopefully the turn after I can play 2 fishes. But really, if we want to bounce this before we even attempt to play like a force, because force is just going to hurt us more than it's going to help. Fire blast. What? Oh god, then we have to be in some serious danger if we just sacrifice 2 mountains like this. Yeah, that's dangerous. Okay. Yeah, that hurts. Yikes. Um yeah, I don't have a good answer for this Chandra's Incendiary. I would have forced that even if like it meant taking 5. But I did not have it, so this is so dangerous. Oh god, like we have no fucking hope of sticking anything through this. No, I have to take this damage right now. Because I have to right now I have to draw Brazen Borrower. Okay, so you're telling me there's a chance. So I can actually attack them here. I think I have to, so I probably gotta play Lord of Atlantis and attack. And I think yeah. You know what? Now I probably have to play the Silvergill Adept, so alright. Let's draw a card. That's not terrible. Okay. That's also not bad. But I have to bounce this thing, I think right now, because I don't want them to untap and then just bolt stuff in response. It doesn't have haste, fortunately, so... And, like, they know I can just F6 through their turn here because the Vortex means that I can't actually kill them. Yep, yeah, Cosmic Sauce. You can see... Well, no, okay, so the way that this works is we both have a 25-minute timer for the entire course of the game. So you can take as long as you need for one specific turn right now. And I'm in danger if they have, like, a bolt, so this is not good. But yeah, I have 22 minutes and my whole clock left, and they have 23 minutes left. So they don't have... Hmm. Can I kill them here? What if they have one bolt, like, I'm dead? Yeah, if you run out of time, though, you do lose the match, so that's important to know. I guess if they can only, like, if their hand is a bunch of, like, incinerators or something. Okay, no, conceded. Okay, good. They see that they didn't have anything, so I guess they didn't even have, like, a bolt. What was their hand? That maybe they just had, like, a bunch of Chandra's incinerators, because if they had Fire Blast, they would have killed me. I'm just like, that had to be weird. Like, what do you have in your hand where you couldn't cast anything, just hoping that was going to get done? I don't know. Okay, so we're up against Burn, so Vapor... I think we're going to want those Vapor Snags for that. Svyelun actually did look pretty sweet here. Have your deck memorized to play fast? Depends. Like, I've definitely been down to, like, less than 10 seconds on the clock when I've won a match, and I've seen many people lose because they ran out of time. It happens, believe it or not. So, let's see, Vortex. I what's not good here against this deck? Like, True-Name is probably good. Like, most of these cards should be pretty good against them. It's actually really difficult to say what's not good against these decks. Maybe? No, like, Svyelun's gotta be fine. Right? It's fine-ish. It's a little bit slow. Maybe Tide Shaper can come out. Like, I don't think this card is actually hurting them very much. I do think I want these forces, and I'll probably it's I gotta take out one more card. I'll take out one Glasspool Mimic and see how that goes. So, well, you all right? So here's the deal. The matches go best of 3, right? So, whoever wins 3, this hand's keepable. It's not like super fantastic by any means, but we can keep it. We have some threats and we have some forces for whatever they cast. So yeah, normally what happens is you only have to play 3 games. I think I'm just gonna pass and I'll play the Trickster in their turn. Yeah, so usually 25 minutes between the 2 players is generally enough time to win like 2 games easily. As long as you're not like dicking around, you'll be fine. There are some decks that will go to time though, so you have to pay attention to that. Oh, that's good. All right, let's see what they want to do with this. So if I need to cast 2 forces, I have the ability to do that. That is not gonna work. Cavern of Souls is a card that does a thing. So the sad thing is, like, what they really should do is wait for it to resolve and then Pyroblast it because of Cavern of Souls. You gotta know these things. But we look to be in pretty good shape here. I'm probably not casting this Borrower anytime in the near future. Just holding up 2 Force of Wills is pretty good. Like here, if they Fire Blast me and then play like Chandra's Incinerator, just countering it is excellent. Okay, well, we just have fucking 4 of a kind. I don't think that this matters a whole lot, but I'm going to play it on Rogue anyway. So, they're playing some kind of weird, like, prison-y deck. Okay, Chain Lightning, sure. I'm not going to counter that. But they have to do something quickly because they know that I'm coming after them, so... And Chandra's Incinerator is definitely coming here, and we are going to force Pitching Force. Okay, I'm just going to Brazen Borrower and bounce this thing. So they are dead. We have lethal. We just flash in Borrower and they will lose. Sure. Fire Blast away. Sure, I guess if you just have another one. Alright, well, that's bad. How do I get through this? They have 1 card left. Uh, so if it's like any burn spell, I'm basically dead. I think if they attack here, how do I do this? I attack and put them to 4. Can block with a thing. If I block with the Trickster here, I take 3, I go to 5, so like nothing actually kills me. The problem is if they burn me, like it's gonna kill off my creatures, so. Uh, so the question is if they have a burn spell. So if they have a burn spell, I'm dead, and if not, if I only attack with the Brazen Borrower, it only puts them to 4, and if they have a burn spell, I'm gonna be 4. They will burn me, put me to lethal, like kill one of my creatures. I have to chump block, so I think the best thing for me to do here is just attack with everything, and then just hope that they don't have it, because then I'm guaranteed to kill them next turn. Them having 3 incinerators was a lot, so we'll see. But they have to like kill me right now. If they have a burn spell, they win. If they don't have a burn spell, they die. Oh! No, you have to attack. You don't have a choice. You're not living through another turn because of this thing. Maybe they have Pyroblast? Oh, that's gotta be good news here. Smash to smithereens. No, but if you had that, you should have... If you had Smash, you needed to do that and just kill off... You could have attacked me, and then I'd be dead right now. That was a mistake. Alright, well... So I guess we're in a holding pattern, so again, we have to go into this same thing here. So I can't attack, but if they don't have a burn spell, they're dead. So just make them fucking have it, I guess. They definitely should have killed me last turn. If they smashed to smithereens the vial, I just die. Um, I just blocked it, yeah, and then take 3, go to 2, and then hopefully that's it. Okay, well you could that just kills me anyway. Like it's fine. That's okay. So that they found that. That's all right. I think we're fine to run this back. We had plenty of top decks that would just win there, but I think they punted away to winning a turn early, and we kind of just did not. We didn't draw Trickster, so like drawing Trickster or another Borrower would have just locked up the game, or even Vapor Snag would have actually done it too. So there were a lot of draws, just didn't find them. That's all. Um, Other than that, like, yeah, it is what it is. We don't really have to change anything here. I would love to be in the play. Um, I can reasonably keep this hand, I think. It's not, again, it's not like an amazing hand by any means, but it's keepable. So, Chrome Mox, okay. Well, I don't know what they exiled a Fire Blast. There's a Vortex. I'm not super concerned by that. That I mean, it sucks if we have to take the damage from this. But if that's the case, so be it. Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. I mean, if they want to sack the seal, I'm okay with that. Sure. Okay. I'm still just putting more pressure in play than... Yeah, and now I can hard cast the Force now, which is nice. We're making progress here. Another Seal of Fire. They have 3 cards left in their hand. It sucks that it's going to kill off one of my creatures, but I think I need to let that happen. Okay, another Vortex is fine. I can live with that. Hmm. I think I just play Trickster here. Can let them kill off either Trickster or Mutavault, but that's fine. I think this is relatively safe to do this here. Even if they got an Incinerator out, I still have a Borrower to bounce it. This definitely puts the clock more in our favor. I really don't want to be taking 10 to force something right now, though. Sure, if that's all they're doing is just playing Seal of Fires, I can weather that storm. It's not really what I want to be doing right now. Hmm. So I guess I could play the Glasspool Mimic, but then again, I don't have Force up. Probably the safest thing to do is just play Trickster. Like, let them Seal Fire and kill this thing. And then I'll play Glasspool Mimic as a land, so I have Mutavault up to attack. Like, yeah, I have Mutavault up next turn if I want to leave Force or Borrower up. So I guess I'll just attack with the Trickster here. Force them to trade this for this. They didn't take the damage. That's surprising. Okay. Now I can just force something that they cast here without taking any damage myself, which is very good for me. Interesting. I think here I just want to play Brazen Borrower. We are playing Legacy Contra, yes. So I think here I flash out Borrower. This means they can Seal a Fire and kill it. That's not really a problem. But it means I can attack them for 4, and then they're going to go down to 2 because of this. So, and I will still have Force up next turn. All right. Sure. So they have to burn the Seal of Fire off to kill one of these things. It might be. We're looking to see if Legacy is playable right now. This is like a really weird kind of mono red prison deck, except it's all in on like Chandra's Incinerator to control this board. I like the Vortex. They have really good interaction with Force of Will and Force of Negation in this format. So, like, the idea is really cool behind this. But their hand, like these kind of decks tend to also be a little bit clunky too. So if you don't draw the right pieces for the right matches, that is super interesting. Okay, So they want to go down to 1? What do you got here? No. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. I just have to not die this turn. That's it. They're at 1, so their own vortex is going to kill them. So there we go. We win the first round against Motown. Sorry it had to be that way. The deck was really cool, but all right. It's a great victory to start this off. So, usually the mono red decks are pretty favorable for Merfolk because just playing a bunch of forces with early pressure like we have is generally how you want to beat the prison decks. And we have the benefit of not being weak to Blood Moon, which is a deck, or it's a card that a lot of these decks rely on, so it didn't look like he was playing Blood Moon there, or at least didn't have it against us. But against a lot of decks, like, the prison decks are just going to try to, Chrome Mox out like a Blood Moon really early, so. No, Luris is banned in Legacy, so there is no Luris.deck. Like, Legacy does not have that problem anymore. It's weird how, like, they acknowledge that Luris was a problem in Legacy, and now it's kind of a problem in Modern for, like, much the same reason. It's just, instead of, like, Delver, it's Grixis Shadow that is running it, so. But now, like, also everything else just jams it, too. Alright, Big Bad Burn. We are on the play. Excellent. I think this is... I don't know, like, it really depends on what we're up against here, but this could be keepable. If we don't draw any more threats, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble, but we might just have to take that chance. Yeah. Alright, we'll play Island and just pass. Against the right deck, like, this hand might... If, like, say we're up against Reanimator, this hand is, like, an instant victory, so... If it's against, like, Delver, it's probably bad. Against, like, Maverick or something like that, it's probably not good. Mox Diamond. So this might be lands? Or, okay, what do we got here? Dark Confidant. Okay, well, we definitely have to force that. Actually, I could just bounce it with Brazen Borrower and then just force them to burn their turn on it again next turn. Sure. I'm gonna go this route because we might not have to tell them what we're on, depend if we draw like another island. Let's not let them draw the card yet. There's Urza Saga. Oops. This hasn't actually told them anything yet. I'm gonna put this Cavern on Rogues. I'll probably just flash in Borrower at the end step. It will be very good for us to flash it in so we go over top of the Saga token. It could also be... like, let's see, what else is... I can't do anything about this one right now. Usually one way to beat Confidants is to really hurt their life total a lot. And this would accomplish that. Alright, swords, sure. Okay, it's not ideal. Alright, I think the jig is up. We're going to have to play this on Merfolk, and they're going to know. Okay, so what are they going to get with the Saga? Probably like Shadow Spear, I'm guessing. That's my assumption. Alright, well, we know we're definitely doing this, so... I might want to wait until they make the construct token and then decide when I'm bouncing, so we'll see what happens here. So even if they find Shadow Spear, like putting it on Confidant's not going to do anything. Knight of the Reliquary. Ooh, that's not great. So this is like a Maverick deck, it looks like. So they are going to make a construct. Look, I got to be honest, against these Maverick decks, like, we tend to struggle a little bit with them. Stuff like True-Name Nemesis is extremely important. You don't really have much of a hope of beating them otherwise. They just got another Mox Diamond. That's interesting. I guess here I'm probably just bouncing the Construct token. They have 3 cards in hand, so they could just play the Knight right now. If Life from the Loam. I really wish I could counter that, but that's going to be very hard to stop. This is not a terribly good matchup for us. I think if Confidant attacks, I would not block. Here I can cast the Glasspool Mimic, copy the Master, and attack, and then if they want to block, it doesn't really do them a lot of good. That also is pretty reasonable, but I think I want to play Glasspool while they're still tapped out. Glasspool Mimic, remember, is also a rogue, so just like True-Name and Borrower, the Cavern does cast it uncounterably. So one hope that we have is we can try to pressure their life total so that Confidant works against them. It's going to be very hard with Knight, but maybe if we can pick up like a Merfolk Trickster or something, we might have a way through. They might also hold up a Saga here. There's options. Ooh, that's bad. He's the Alright, so now I guess we're looking at like Tideshaper is kind of where we want to be. So if we can Tideshaper away the Saga and then play another Lord, that's pretty fine. But they have a lot of mana. This is rough. Fuck, that's or if we had Tideshaper, we could actually like really threaten to kill them. So I think Tideshaper is probably like the best draw right now because we wouldn't even Tideshaper Saga. We'd go after like Bayou, and then just try to deal 8 damage and hope that Dark Confidant kills them. It's not bad. Means we can attack with 2 of these and like kill off. We could kill off 1. No, that still wouldn't work. Fuck. All right. All right. This is difficult here. How do I do this? I have a couple different lines right now. I think playing Brazen Borrower might just be the best one. So I'm gonna say attacking. Like I could play the Lord and attack, and then like the Knights die. But I also know they have Volraths in hand, right? Or no, they didn't take that back. Okay, so that's all right. So then, yeah, if these die, they actually die for real. the problem is I can't play both Trickster and Lord. Which means if I play Lord and attack, they just trade with both, and I don't really have a good way to pressure them. If I play the Borrower and the Confidant hits something pretty good, there's a possibility like I could push through damage next turn. So maybe if I draw like another island, I could play the Lord plus the Trickster, and like these two with this attacking maybe puts them in enough danger. It also kind of depends on them not having like another Swords to Plowshares. I mean, playing a Trickster here if they attack with a Knight is possible, but so they did not lose any life, which actually sucks. The Trickster can just kill off the Construct token here. So they might feel like they're safe to make an attack that they're actually not safe to make. Because if I play the Borrower, that's 3 in the air, and like if they attack with either one of these, like this, isn't actually blocking. So it depends how defensive they want to be. That's not good. Okay, well, I think I have to tap this. Fuck, I don't actually know what the right thing to do here is now. Because if this thing attacks, like, I'm actually fucked. They do have enough mana to re-equip the Shadow Spear, too. And the other problem is they have this Knight up as well, plus this fetch land, so, like, it's gonna get out of hand. This one gets Shigeri's Step, which means they'll give it protection from blue if I try to do any shenanigans with it. And then this thing's just going to get really big and scary. Like 16 damage is probably more than I can really risk. Maybe they don't have Step in their deck though. All right, that's what I got to hope for here. I have to let this thing attack. But if they have we're probably lost. As long as they have it in their deck, then they can get it right now. Give this Pro Blue, and we don't have a way to get through the Shadow Spear. It was close. Like, we were doing okay, but yeah, it turns out like this. Putting this on Rogue like gave us an awkward turn, but honestly, I don't know if that would have that actually mattered, because now they have they have way too much stuff here for me to like realistically get through. Now this is the point where they should activate this one. Okay, well no, I'm definitely doing this. They should. Why are you letting this happen? This is ridiculous. Okay. You sacrifice the Windswept Teeth, that's fine, but like, what do you have, Swords? No, but if you have the Step, we should have did this in response so that I couldn't block it at all. Would have gained a lot more life that way. Maze of Ith. Okay, that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. They might not have it in their deck. Okay, so that's good to know. So okay, so actually Tideshaper off the top is a victory here. We have a chance. Like if we draw Tideshaper, we could actually just win the game right now because we can attack for 10 Island Walk. So that's what we have to go for, because we're not gonna win otherwise. We have to draw Tideshaper right now. Fuck. I mean that's pretty much a concede. Like, I can't realistically get through this. This is just gonna swing the game way too hard, and I don't have the answers. I don't want to show them any more cards. They have successfully stabilized, and it's too late. All right, Relic is actually pretty good against this deck. I need that. Vapor Snag, I guess, is fine. And what's not fine? I mean, most of these cards are necessary, so Like, Force isn't great, but I might just have to take it out. There's a lot of ways this goes wrong. I guess Silvergill could come out. That's possible. I guess I'm going to take out Force of Will. It's not terribly great against these decks. Just because, like, you don't want to 2-for-1 yourself against the decks that have all this card advantage, but yeah, it's hard. Like, our only plan is to try to tempo our way through their nonsense, and if they have enough answers, then there's not much we can do about it. This is a little bit, you know what? I'm gonna keep it, but if I can draw like a creature, then like these glass pools will start doing something. I think against like these decks, you kind of have to have a little bit of luck on your side. So I'm willing to take more chances in order to make that happen. It's like Svyelun is not a bad card against them by any means. So this being indestructible and drawing cards whenever it attacks is pretty good. I'm gonna need something for these to copy, so that way when Vial gets up to 3, I have something relevant to do. It's also likely that they could have like Prismatic Ending, and they might just eat the Vial. So having the extra lands is not that bad of a deal right now. Nothing on turn 1. Okay. Come on, creature. Excellent. Fucking awesome. Alright. Let's see what they're going to do here. So if they just tap out for like Dark Confidant, that's excellent. They might have Swords to Plowshares. But if they have Swords to Plowshares, I was going to get screwed by it no matter what, so. Because even if I wait to do this next turn, like, I could Vial this in and then cast the Glasspool, but they would just respond to it, so it would be bad. So at least we got a Swords out of their hand. That's a plus, but still not great. Yeah, that's not great either. Alright, well, this might be the turn where we're not doing anything. Well, no, we're definitely playing Svyelun, so we at least have that. That's not terrible either. Okay, well, it's better than nothing. I guess we have Svyelun out, and if we need to, we can Tide Shaper and then Violin Mimics. Just hope they don't have another Swords, because getting the Swords out so the Svyelun lives is helpful. They drew a Stronghold. Okay, that's good to know. But I really want Svyelun to start drawing me some cards. Because, you know, like, honestly, like, if we draw the right creatures and, you know, and this works, the Mimics could be really strong here. But, like, Sylvan Library, Alright, not ideal. Well, they're not going to attack, so probably not going to block either, to be honest. Alright, come on, give me some gas. Fuck. Alright. Oops. Yeah. Well, if they try to, like, kill off Svyelun here, I can protect it with a Mimic now. But if they Swords it, I can't really stop that. Or actually, if they Swords it, I can always just copy it with Mimic, so that's not the worst. They got Green Sun Zenith, that's not ideal. So, we're not... This isn't over yet. Like, we still have a board. This is sort of worked out. Okay, Mox Diamond is not really a problem. It's just mana. This is essentially letting them scry 3 each turn. So they're drawing the top 3 and then they're putting 2 back. So it's kind of, yeah, it's sort of like a brainstorm, I guess. But it has to be from only those 3 cards. Wasteland, fine. They have 5 mana. So they could have something like Primeval Titan, which would actually suck. This looks like this might be a Plague Engineer. No, it can't be. It has to be Knight of the Reliquary. Never mind. Because it has to be green. Okay, yeah. So probably Knight. Unless they have Primeval Titan, which means they could be getting Dryad. So, alright, they get Knight here. That seems fine. Okay. Um Sure. So definitely no to this one and yes to this one. It's not the end of the world. It's really hoping for something a little bit better here. All right. Come on. We just keep drawing like just fucking dinks. Fuck. All right. All right. Well, I think we had like a good chance, but it's slipping because we keep flooding out. Svyelun is looking pretty good here, though. I gotta be honest. I didn't really want to have to crack the relic right away, but I think I needed to try to draw a creature. Because fuck, there comes the Plague Engineer. I kind of knew that was happening. Fortunately for us, they tapped the Wasteland, so that means that this doesn't die to Engineer right away. Okay, Excavator, sure, fine. Alright. Alright, so this one, yes. This one, no. Okay. That definitely does something. Alright, how do I go about this? I guess I can attack with the Svyelun here. See how they want to block. But I have the Trickster up, and I can always Vial in a Mimic then. Well, it would have been better if we had a Lord, but I can live with this. I choose to do nothing. Okay. Well, interesting that they're sacrificing the Savannah here. I guess they're going to get Mazavith. I mean, I'm actually okay with that. I still get to draw a card either way, so... Alright, this isn't over yet. Trickster was a pretty good pickup. So I can now put 2 more creatures in play, and I can actually like eat a ton of their stuff depending on how they do this. They're just playing Tropical Island. That's not that big a deal. Shadow Spear. Okay. That is a big deal because that takes away Svyelun's Indestructible. They could gain, like, alright, so what's going to happen here? I guess I should just tap it down right now. Let's not let them actually attack. If they want to re-equip the Shadow Spear, that's okay, I guess. I can tap 2 more things down. Okay. They still have Maze of Ith up. So the question is, what can I do here? I think I have to do some. I have to try to make something happen. Tap down the Knight. They'll probably just use its ability to put more lands in the graveyard right now. If they were smart, they would sacrifice this scrub land so I don't have Island Walk. It would also kill off my Tide Shaper if they did that too. So the correct land to sacrifice is definitely this one. No, but they can't. It has to be a Forest or Plains. All right, yeah, that's right. So okay, so they're not able to do. Okay, never mind. So we don't have to worry about that. So I guess they'd have to sacrifice the forest and maybe get a wasteland to wasteland their own land. That's a line that does work. We're giving ourselves tons of chances here. Caracas. Okay. Come on. All right. I guess this. Yeah, that has to happen. So what happens here? I guess what I can do is I can still copy the Trickster, turn off the Engineer. If they block anything, the Engineer will die. Otherwise, they go to 1, and then it's very possible Dark Confidant kills them. No, but they do have the Maze of Ith still. I guess... Yeah, it's gonna die here no matter what, so that's fine. We'll just let those trade. So I can still use Glasspool to tap down the Knight, I guess, or whatever they put the Shadow Spear on. We still have outs, basically. That's the important part. The Wasteland's untapped, though, so they could always target the Scrubland if they want to kill off the Tide Shaper. Leovold. I don't really like that very much, but doing this preemptively is not a good idea, so I have to just let this happen. So they're going to get to draw a card. But at least the Knight is tapped, so it doesn't get to attack and get lifelink. So they sacrifice the Bayou. What are they going to do with it? Alright. Saga. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't think they attack. Doing our best with this, but it's just spiraling out of control, and you know these fucking land drops are not helping. We have not really drawn a whole lot of creatures this game. We really need them. This is not a good board state for us. Right, like we are on the brink of being shut out here. Because I'm not going to be able to get through this wasteland and this scrubland. Oh, they fucking tapped the wasteland. So what you're telling me is there's hope yet. They fucking tapped the wasteland. So if I draw a lord, I could actually like get there. Okay. All right. So you're telling me there's a chance. Come on, Lord for victory. No. I'm. They gave us so many opportunities. They're definitely gonna tap the Caracas. All right. Look. So here's the thing. Yeah. Svyelun's going away. I'm out of tricks. They're gonna get to attack with this thing, and it's too late. Oh fuck! If we drew the Lord there, like it was definitely possible to win the game, but because they I think well no you know what no it might not have because they still have the Maze of Ith, so I could have only dealt 4 damage. So they would definitely maze one of these. Oh fuck! So no, it still wouldn't have done it. All right, well. I think then in that case we're probably screwed here because it's like I'm out of tricks for this. The Knight's gonna get there with the Shadow Spear. They have like 4. All right, I'm willing to give up. Like I can't actually go through this. Svyelun, is just very vulnerable to this. All right, we could have dragged it out a little bit longer, but like yeah, that was the position was losing, and there wasn't really a way to come back. The engineer being on the board made it difficult, and then yeah, the Shadow Spear too. So instead of just wasting another hour doing this, I would rather play a new match where we have better chances. I'm making the best use of everybody's time. And it was close. Like we almost came back in the 2 games that we played, but not quite. I think we had chances. All right, Davy 2892. We are on the draw. What do you got? This hand's fine. Actually, no, this hand's great. We're gonna keep it. Misty Rainforest, that's good. That's another great draw here. This next turn. We can just play Silvergill Adept. We have Force. Like, this is probably as good as this is going to get. And it looks like maybe Sneak and Show or maybe Delver. We'll see. Volcanic doesn't tell us enough. Oh, see, look, they have the Wasteland. So here it would be really great if we could draw another land. It's not quite another land. I'm going to play the Cavern of Souls because we need to play the Silvergill Adept. Alright, that's fine. Like, they didn't waste us, so they probably need the land themselves. Well, now they have 2 wastes, so this is going away. Yeah. But with 2 mana, they can definitely, like, do stuff. We still have Vial here, so it's not, you know, it's not over by any means. I can just play the Glasspool as a land to eat up the other Wasteland. Or, that's good, too. So I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to play the Lord. I'm assuming they're going to kill it or daze it or something. They don't. Okay. Okay, they lightning bolt this. Okay, well, that's good for us. I guess I could have forced the bolt, but I'm not really interested in fighting over that right now. They didn't force last time, so I kind of feel like they're not going to this time. Oh, that's got to be fantastic for us. Well, now, yeah, they just concede. All right, so this is probably Delver, and their hand just sucked. Okay, so against Delver, I think we want Vapor Snag for sure, right? And we want Hullbreacher. What do we not need against them? Honestly, I don't think I want the forces against... If it's Delver like of Secrets, I probably don't want Force. It's possible that it's not, but I'm willing to gamble in this. Because you don't really want to be in a Force battle against Delver. They're playing Forces and Daze, and this hand's terrible. We're going to definitely mulligan. Fuck, this is not much better, but I might have to keep this. Just, yeah, it's... Alright, we need some help. We have like 2 turns to draw a land. At least we have a basic, so Wasteland's not really the concern here. Alright, so we might see like turn 1 Delver. Tundra? Okay. Nope, Ponder. Okay, so they're playing Jeskai colors, which means probably Swords to Plowshares and or Prismatic Ending are cards we should be concerned about. Maybe Stoneforge Mystic, but I'm not feeling it. Usually just the spells. That's actually pretty good. We'll just play this as a 1-mana 2/2. I can live with this. If they want to daze it, that's okay. We need to draw a land this turn. Preferably Cavern of Souls. Sure, Ponder. Is it possible this is like Jeskai Miracles or something? I don't know. I think most of those decks have gravitated towards stuff like, yeah, they're playing more things, like Uro. Alright, let's see. I'm sure they have like a bolt or something, so they'll probably bolt the Lord. They daze the Lord, okay. Alright. I want to save the Trickster in case they ever do find like a Delver or Dragon's Rage Channeler. So Daze does tell us that this should be Delver. Stoneforge Mystic! Oh, fuck, alright. No, they are... Okay, it's Stoneblade. Cauldron Complete. Well, we fortunately have two really good answers for that, so... Let's play this while we still have the opportunity. They pitch... Alright, there's Force. Alright, we want to draw the land next turn so we can Vapor Snag and then also play a second thing, so... Murktide. Okay. I can deal with this. Land. That's not a land. Well, they're going to have a bitch of a time recasting that, so... And I'm keeping the dream alive of being able to play Snag plus one of these dummies. Okay, Cauldron Complete, that's fine. So we can always bounce the token, and there's not really a whole lot they can do about it. We take 5, but sure, that's okay. I could even play the Trickster here. Or that is a thing too. Sure, they're not blocking, so you may as well attack. I agree. So what do you have? I'm assuming they have, like, a removal spell of some kind. Okay. I'm still looking for that Cavern of Souls. That would be nice. If Murktide comes out, it's not that big a deal. Excellent. Alright, now they're in real trouble. Look at these Vapor Snags. They're so fucking good against this deck. Look at how easily we just dumpstered fucking Murktide Regent with Vapor Snag and Brazen Borrower. That is all according to Keikaku. Ah. Oh, it's just absolute. I could not have drew it up more beautiful than I could. Yeah, more beautifully if I had tried. So there we go. We're 2-1. That's not bad. And if that means if we're beating the Murktide decks, then our deck is probably very well positioned. Because blue-red Murktide, I think, should be good for us now that they don't have Ragavan, because that thing, like, having haste it was a really big deal, and it ramping them also was a big deal. But I think with all the bounce stuff and yeah, just True-Name and Svyelun, like, we should have a pretty good game against this deck. You know, Island Walk is always still nice. And our 1-mana 2/2 actually took us very far into that game. Alright, we are on the Draw versus Janky Bee. Janky B, what do you got for me? I am not in love with this. I kept 7 cards. I don't think I can keep this. I am definitely going to keep this. I'm going to put Mutavault on the bottom because I don't know if this is going to be like a wasteland deck and if the basics are going to matter. Okay. Snow-covered islands. This might be like the. This is. Well, that's not enough to tell us. This definitely could be like Bant because they're playing stuff like the snake. Fuck, what the hell's the name? I will come up with the name in a minute. Alright, Prismatic Ending. I kind of expected something like that would happen. Alright. Come on, I need the name of this that I can't fucking remember. Icefang Coatl. So that's possible. It's also possible that this is a Stoneblade deck. Could play this Vial again, or I could go for Silvergill right away. I think I'm going to play the Vial here. I don't know what we're up against. We have three drops in our hand, so the Aether Vial needs to come out very soon if I want to get value out of these. It's because Counter Magic does look like it's going to be an issue. So having Vial out is better, and they wasted one ending on this, so if we can get them to waste another one on this, that's fine. Sure, they're going to ending my Vial again. Okay, I mean, I can live with this. How many fucking, prismatic endings are you going to cast? Because again, we're in the same exact scenario where we have to play the Vial now to get the value from it. Snapcaster Mage. Okay, this is making me think maybe this is Stoneblade. Monastery Mentor. Oh, is this fucking Miracles? Is that what's going on? Alright. Alright. What are the odds you have Force of Will? Yes! No Force of Will! Which means Mentor is not going to be attacking me. So good at magical cards. Oh, fuck. That is super incredibly dangerous. Alright. They're going to start making a bajillion fucking tokens now. Okay. That's less than ideal. Fuck. I actually think we are in some serious trouble right now. I might just have to jam this True-Name Nemesis as well and just hope for the best. Because they could just chain off like a million spells this turn and I might just die. Alright. We have to do some math here. Let's assume that we don't die. Playing True-Name Nemesis right now is probably the correct thing to do, and then I'd have to attack for 3, put them to 16. Is there any possible way I can win next turn? Put Silvergill Adept in play Master of the Pearl Trident, maybe draw another Lord. So let's see, that would put it like 8 plus. It's not quite enough. We're going to be in some serious danger. Alright, what happens if I play Master this turn and then draw another Lord next turn? So I get in for 4 damage, put them to 15. Then next turn it'd be 3 plus 8, so 11. It still wouldn't be enough. I don't like this. Being on defense is... If I go on defense for a turn, like, I might take, like, a bajillion damage. I might not survive another turn if I do that. Because they could just potentially unload their entire hand, and I don't have any good... I don't have any good way to survive that. They're only attacking with 3 things this turn. If I don't attack right now, then, like, it's just going to get even worse. I'm having a very hard time seeing the path to victory here. Double Monastery Mentor. Okay, what happens if I play Silvergill Adept and draw, like, Brazen Borrower? I think I might need to do something like that. Because we're not out there's very little chance that we're out racing this, so I think we need to see what our next card is. It's not particularly inspiring. Alright, the question is, do I attack or not? If I don't attack, like, I'm taking 3 of these to the face. I just don't see how I'm winning if I don't, though. Alright, let's see if they force this. Okay, they don't force it, so... So I think I have to attack and just hope for the best. Goodbye, Aether Vial. Yeah, I mean, I figured that was definitely a possibility. They could have eaten my Silvergill Adept here, so it's kind of interesting that they didn't. Um Alright, that's enough. And they had Dress Down. Dress Down's just gonna fucking end the game, so... Yeah, I have no realistic chance of beating that. Alright, it's kind of the same deal here. I think Hullbreacher is necessary. I don't think I need Force of Negation. I think I keep the Force of Wills. This is kind of weird because, like, the Borrower is not terribly good, but at the same time it's sort of fine. I just need to, like, not to have Monastery Mentor early. That's pretty much it. I guess I could bring in Relics. Relic is also okay. I don't know, maybe. If they have, like, Stoneforge Mystic as well, which it's definitely possible that they might. Like, Borrower might be better than I think. It has flying, which is nice because they can't block it easily. So maybe... Fuck, I'm really unsure what to take out here. Possibly the Tricksters. That sort of makes sense. Svyelun gets to be indestructible and draws cards when it attacks, so there is that. Alright, I guess this is how we're doing this. This hand's great. We're lucky Hullbreacher will get to just eat like a brainstorm or something. They're probably just going to Prismatic Ending the Vial if they have it. Yeah. I'm really thinking about whether they want to force this. They pitched Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think this actually is, like, this is worth a card, so I really want this. We got us a True-Name Nemesis, so if we can get more lands in play, like, Cavern of Souls will make this really, really good. And same thing with like Hullbreacher. Even if we just pass and like do this in response to a brainstorm or something, just devastatingly powerful. But we kind of need things to line up a little bit well because we have to get the land this turn, and ideally we want it to be a cavern. It's not really the one I wanted to see here. And we're kind of in the same scenario where I still need to play the Aether Vial, even if I don't want to. Because it's like the only way I'm getting these into play through like counter magic. If they have more prismatic endings, it'll force them to go after the Vial instead of my creatures. So they don't go after the Vial is really dangerous to them. It turns off their counter magic on my guys, and it also lets me play stuff on their turn. So huge deal. So getting the Vial out as early as possible definitely is good. Alright, well, let's see what they got here. You want to force this? I don't think so. They might, like, Snapcaster, like Brainstorm. I don't know, they don't have a Snap Brainstorm. They might just Sword something. Or Bolt. Swords, okay, sure. Okay, well, we're doing okay so far. They're not doing anything. Okay, so that's good news for us. That's also good news for us. I really would like them to play like Jace here. If they have Snapcaster, they're gonna like swords anyway, so I may as well just attack. Okay, they just have regular swords. Okay, sure. Okay, sure. This is fine. I'm not going to deploy this Hullbreacher just yet. That's actually nice. So what happens with Hullbreacher is if they ever make the mistake of casting a Brainstorm and they can't kill this Hullbreacher, they're just losing 3 cards. So like they fucking lose the Brainstorm and they lose 3 cards from their hand. And we get 3 treasures. That's what happens. It punishes them super hard for playing like their cantrips here. I'm going to play the Trickster, so I guess maybe they're just stuck on 3 lands with a bunch of spells they can't cast. Dress down, huh? So they're probably going to use this to kill the True-Name Nemesis. That would be my assumption here. They'll draw a card. I'm not interested. Like, I could do this in response to that, but I don't think I want to burn it yet. I want them to burn all their removal first. Like, if I want them to draw like Jace and make the fucking mistake of doing something. So they definitely still could just have a pile of removal spells in their hand. Oh, that's pretty good. Sure. They have just more like Pyroblasts. Okay. They're not casting any cantrips, so that's interesting. So we're just like threatening them with tons of pressure now. Alright, I don't need to play Svyelun right here, so... Like, I already have lethal in play, so... I can wait till their end step. They have to have a removal spell for this right now. Now they have to have exactly 2 removal spells in hand. Alright, we get there. Interesting. Okay, so... Yeah, that was... They did not find their mentors in time. Do I want to change anything here? I could try siding out the borrowers and bringing the tricksters back in. But honestly, like, the borrower's not bad. Just, yeah, well, this is the thing. They have lots of removal spells, but look at the way that, like, we have, like, you know, between Borrower and Hullbreacher and Trickster, we have a bunch of flash stuff, and Aether Vial helps us at flash speed too. Um, Tide Shaper is just like a 2/2 for 1s, and I mean, it's basically the same thing as Trickster, except it just costs 1 mana, so I think I'm willing to keep it. So, this is my first outing since Ragavan has been banned, so far this seems fun. We'll see. As much as I would love to keep this, the fucking curve in my hand is way too high. They mulled to 6. I think we can afford to mulligan. This is much better. We're gonna keep this, and we're gonna put probably Tide Shaper. Well, I'll put Borrower on the bottom. That's fine. This will let me curve out against their deck better. Well, that's actually good too. Yeah, no, there is a lot of appeal for Eternal formats without Lurrus and Ragavan. And, like, the thing a lot of people don't understand is, like, Legacy is not really a format where you just lose in turn 2. Like, that's not how this format goes. Like, there are definitely decks that can do that, but you don't have to lose to them unless you want to, so... You gonna take the damage from this thing or not? They did take the damage, alright. They really want to, like, not counter this either because I have Svyelun on the way, so... Now I have an extra one to pitch to this force. So if they play, like, Teferi here, I can just force it. Or if they play Mentor, I definitely have to counter that. It's gonna happen. They have 2 cards in hand. Probably just use Brazen Borrower to bounce this back to their hand, so... I'll make them burn another full turn for this. If they want to trade with this, that's fine. I am thinking that I'm probably going to go to Philly and play Legacy. Because it's only about an hour away for me, so it's not that big a deal to just drive down in the morning. Yeah, Modern's on Saturday, but honestly, I'm not particularly in love with Modern right now, so I would really like to just be in love with Legacy here. Ah, this is what we want. Yeah, and I mean, Star City Games likes to do events in this area. Like Somerset and Philly are both very close to where I'm at, so I generally try to go to those whenever possible. Oh, they did not cast a spell in response to it. That's super dangerous. I don't know, opponent, what are you doing? You've got to have a plan for this because this could be really bad. All right, so they could like kill one thing and block another. That's definitely possible. If they have a spell, like that's definitely a thing that can happen here. That might okay, so maybe it wasn't that bad because actually they do have a plan for this. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming they're gonna cast like a cantrip at the end step, so I'm just gonna pass and cast the Hullbreacher. Hmm. You know what? Maybe now that I reconsider it, I kind of want to attack there just because they have the removal mana up here, so all right, let's see if they're going to do anything about this. Oh, well, that's a different story. Well, we're pretty close to wrecking them right now. So here's the thing. I think that I actually force this. Because if they're going for like a brainstorm or something here, that would be devastating. Fuck, they have a pyroblast. No. All right, so they did have two removal spells, so they're going to get two tokens. It does make it more likely that the Hullbreacher lives through, like, in order to punish a cantrip. All right. Yeah. All right, opponent, what do you got? You're not getting a card off of this now unless you bolt this thing right. Ha ha! It does some work. To fairy fucking time raveler. All right, well, we're in the scenario where a lord off the top wins. So we need an Island Walk Lord, and we got this. If we draw Silvergill, we get a redraw. You should attack here, I think. Because like I'm either killing you with Island Walk or I'm not killing you at all, so that's not exactly what I was hoping for. Well, if I want this out, I have to play this right now. Just hope that they don't have... Like, I can't do anything because of Teferi here, so I just pass. Just hope that they don't... Hope they drew, like, a Brainstorm that they can't cast. And that we might still be in the scenario where Lord wins. Oh my god. No, I wanted to cast that with the kicker. I think they drew like a Ponder or something like that. That's why they just passed, because they couldn't do anything. I think they're in the same scenario there. Fucking A. Alright. Here they're going to be able to unload their hand, because they can use Teferi to bounce this thing. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't... Oh, you know what? Now, if they use Teferi to bounce this, I can just recast it, so... That actually doesn't work right now. Alright, so we're not out of this yet. So they drew a land for sure. If you just drew another Mentor, that's actually okay. If it's Snapcaster Mage, that's not okay. Because I'm going to get double punished because I really needed to do this. Yeah. I really wanted to turn off, like, probably... one of these two. Oh, they took Ponder. They're not casting that. Alright, so... Yeah, this looks like a pretty good attack from them. There's no reason not to make this, so... Again, it's just Lord or Bust. I wanted to cast this with the kicker, but it didn't work out that way. Alright, see, now I'm kind of in trouble. I can't cast the Force of Will. So what they're gonna just kill me this turn. I can't cast the spells here. Maybe what I need to do is just attack Teferi. Or like if I attack them, they have to block too, right? So let's see. I have 5 attackers, so potentially they could beat a 4. So they have to block. Yeah, what is it? 2, like they have to block 3 of them, right? 3 of them have to block here. They block with the 3 tokens. Assuming they don't have an instant or sorcery to cast here. They might double block the Hullbreacher, but I guess I'm okay if that happens. I guess the only problem is if they have like another Pyroblast or a Swords to Plowshares, then I'm kind of screwed. Problem is though, next turn, for sure what's going to happen is Teferi's going to bounce the Hullbreacher. I can't respond to anything they do during their turn. They're going to turn their entire team into like ridiculously big things that I have to block. So it's going to be a question of how many things can they chain in a row before I die. They're going to have like infinite blockers and probably infinite cards that they're going to cycle through here. I need to keep at least 2 things alive in order to have any chance of killing them. And so their Hullbreacher comes back. I have to block 2. Which means 1, 2, 3, 4. So they only have to cast 3 spells, and I know they have at least 1. They're going to they're like basically guaranteed to have everything that they need here. So I think what I need to do is attack and hope that they don't have either Pyroblast or Swords to Plowshares, because if they have either one of those, I can't do much about it. Like, they're going to turn these into 2/2s and block my stuff, but this is the only option I have. I have to get these things off the board or they're going to kill me next turn for sure. Unfortunately, our draws in the face of Teferi have been pretty shit. Like, I think we drew like land, Aether Vial, Force of Will, which is like pretty much as bad as it could have been. We did get a Tide Shaper, and unfortunately I did not kick the Tide Shaper to turn off the mountain or the... I guess I would probably go with the snow-covered plains because they have more white removal than anything else. So I would want to block here. Or I mean, I'd want to turn this off so that their chances of actually, casting spells would be reduced, but that was just a fucking misclick on my part. We'll see if it ends up mattering here. It very well may matter. It looks like they do have swords. All right. No, they have prismatic ending. That should reasonably be all right. Whatever. Yield through this turn. Like that should pretty much do it. Like they can just eat everything at this point. Now you have to block at least one more, but yeah, like I know they have Ponder in hand. Like this game's over. As soon as they make the block, then I can concede. Because they're gonna go like Ponder. They draw a card off this. They get a card off Narset. So they only have to cast like 2 spells and they win. Yeah, and it looks like, not Tide Shapering the Snow-Covered Plains, like misclicking there is what fucked me. Because it gave them the opportunity to use this removal spell, which otherwise they wouldn't have had, so... That one's kind of on me, but I mean, it also kind of is on, like, the bad top decks at the end. Like, it was, again, another really, really close match, so... One misclick, like, definitely could have been, the difference. That's... entirely possible. Maybe the rest of their hand was just like all white cards and like a Ponder. We don't know. A Lord would have done it if we had drawn it in time, so we definitely had turns to find it, but didn't find it, so oh well. That, like I said, that one's on me, but the match was good. It was close. All right, so our last match, we were on the draw versus Misfortune, I guess. I guess I can keep this. This actually is fine. We'll go turn 1, Ancient Tomb. Oof. Okay, well, this is going to be defense grid, so... Okay, so this definitely looks like a combo deck, so probably Bomberman would be my guess. I gotta play Aether Vial off of the island here so I can play the Trickster next turn. Monolith, yeah, this definitely has to be... This has to be like Bomberman. We're not casting a Force. Or is it Bomberman? Is that the name of the deck, or is it like they're playing like Mystic Forge and they're gonna like basically go through their entire deck with a Mystic Forge? That's how this works. And I think they might cast Mystic Forge right now. It is like a combo deck. All right, Karn the Great Creator, yeah, like that definitely gets the thing. So Aether Vial offline. We're actually kind of dead here because they just like had the nuts here. Fucking like what, turn 2? Yeah, this is their turn 2. Like I actually don't think that we can stop this. I could play either Mutavault or Island, but like Island lets me flash in the Trickster. Don't think it makes a huge amount of difference either way. Yeah. They have like infinity mana. They got the Paradox engine already. Fuck. Yeah, so they're definitely casting this card next turn, and they're just gonna have infinite mana. So that doesn't do anything, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't cast this in their turn, and they're still like, no matter what I do, they're definitely casting this fucking Paradox engine, right? Ancient Tomb. Uh, oh fuck. I guess if I want to play Trickster, I have to do it now. I still don't think that I can actually stop them from doing this though. Like, I don't know what I could possibly commit to the board here that's going to make a difference. Like, how does this work? I guess they can get one more mana with Karn. No, but they have Manifold Key. This is the thing that's going to work here. They pay one, untap this, so this taps for this. So this is effectively tapping for 3. This taps for 2. They play Paradox Engine. Karn finds them a Mox Opal. Or something like any 0 mana spell. It untaps the Grim Monolith and they just keep chaining spells with this. Well, they don't have Mystic Forge yet, so maybe it's not over, but it definitely feels like it's close, and I'm not really sure. Whatever we do, we have to do it now, and I'm not sure what we can do that's going to make a difference. Ah, fuck. It's gonna be very easy for them to still do stuff. And just bouncing like Karn isn't actually helping me get through this because they'll still have Paradox Engine in play, and there's nothing I can particularly do about it. I think that my best bet is to concede and just not tell them what I'm doing. They'll probably know what's up either way, though. Like if I play Trickster here, it doesn't really matter because they have this and like yeah, I don't have a way to stop them, and I'm struggling to find a line that's gonna work. All right, I'll play the Trickster. Maybe I can use Borrower to bounce the Karn next turn to do something. I don't know. We're giving it a try, but like calculating the lines here, it doesn't look like, we're doing very well. We're all of these lines are calculated assuming that their hand does nothing. If their hand does anything on top of anything that I've mentioned, like it's losing. So, all right, let's see what they got. There's the engine. All right. They have the Urza Saga. Yeah, that's probably good enough here. Cast Manifold Key. You have infinite mana plus Karn, so all you have to do is get Mystical Forge, and you got this. All right, we'll let them. For like, I have an idea of already how this goes. They can make like, or yeah, they can just cast a bunch of spells here. If they use Forge enough times, then they should be able to make infinite mana and then cast Walking Ballista. And that'll do it. So they have 2 keys. Like, this is what I'm saying. If they had key, then I can't defeat that. But I believe the thing that they get here is Forge. Because they tap the monolith for 3, pay 1 to untap it, tap it for another 3, pay 1 to untap it, tap it for another 3. So they're at 9 mana. They use 4 of it to cast Forge. Untap, they still have 5 left, and like they can use Forge to do whatever they would need. I mean, that should be sufficient. So I don't. Yeah. So this isn't like Bomberman. I think this is it's similar to that, but it's a different like combo, and I don't actually know the name of it. But it doesn't operate terribly differently. Like a lot of it's very similar because they're still like relying on Karn to get you combo pieces and stuff. The other deck uses like Ariok Salvagers and Lionside Diamond to make infinite mana, and then you get Ballista with that. This one uses like Paradox Engine and Mystical Forge. or Mystic Forge. So let's see if the opponent can calculate the line, though. I mean, I'm assuming if they're playing this deck, they should know how to do this. They choose Ensnaring Bridge. I don't think that's the one. Like, that definitely does not seem correct here, because I'm just gonna bounce this fucking Ensnaring Bridge and kill Karn. Like, that's not enough. Why couldn't you just kill me right now? Like, you should be able to. Like, even getting a Walking Ballista out of your sideboard would have been better than Ensnaring Bridge. Because at least Ballista would have killed Trickster and protected Karn. You have no more cards in your hand, so, like, you're not drawing anything else here, so... We just bounce Bridge, kill Karn, and then hopefully... I mean, they might just be banking on the fact that, like, sometimes Merfolk doesn't have a main deck answer to Bridge, but in this case, we have 4. So, Karn's going away, and, like, now if they just top deck lands, like... Well, okay, this is still not great, though, because, again, like... Inventor's Fair is a thing. That sucks, because they're going to be able to use Fair to get stuff. It puts it in their hand. Alright, well, Force of Will gives us... No, well, no, it doesn't. Never mind. Alright. What do I do here? Like, I think I have to kill Karn. I don't really have a choice. But they should be able to use Inventor's Fair to get what they need. Like, we live another turn, but I don't think it's making a difference. At least we take out this asshole. We gotta... It's about sending a message. This unlocks our Aether Vial. Well, here they probably want... They should crack an Expedition map, so it looks like that's what they're doing. Because as long as they have Manifold Key, this thing just makes 2 free mana each time they do it. Yeah, maybe, you know what? No, I realized when I was calculating their mana, I did it wrong. They wouldn't have quite that much, but they'd still have enough, I think. No, it would be 3 plus 2 plus 2, so it would only be 7, not 9. But that really doesn't mean anything, because, again, with Paradox Engine, every single time they cast a spell, they're getting 7 mana, so... Still not great. We will have to tick this Aether Vial up to 3. They're getting another Inventor's Fair, which means they're probably planning on sacrificing this one. And just play Bridge again. I mean, playing Ensnaring Bridge is literally like plus mana. It's a ritual for them. So, the important thing is cards. What they need is they need to get stuff with this fair. So it looks like they're gonna, yeah, they're gonna probably search with this and then play Bridge and untap everything. Oh, if they're in Dynamo, okay, sure. Just, it adds to the ridiculous pile of almost infinite mana they have. So we know they have Urza, Saga, and Ensnaring Bridge in their hand. This is where Inventor's Fair probably gets Walking Ballista, I assume. Or Forge, either one works. They got Forge, okay. Yeah. Okay, sure. Do what you're gonna do. I'm yielding until the end step, so that way if they for some reason pass to me and they make a construct token, I can at least kill it with Trickster. Not that I think it matters at all, but I mean it's using time in their clock, so that's not nothing. But their combo does take some time to execute because there's a lot of tapping and untapping. All right, so they're casting that off the top of their deck. All right, so basically the way this works, they can look at the top card, they can cast any artifact and colorless spell from the top of their deck, and they can tap it and pay 1 life to exile the top card. So basically, if it's like a land, they tap it and exile it in order to try to find a card that's not a land. And as long as they don't run into too many lands on top, they'll just win. They have 25 mana, and like that should be enough. Like as soon as they find Ballista, like or Karn, okay, that's um okay, so yeah, it's fine. Like here, like it's like all but over here. Now is where they probably find Walking Ballista. Yeah, they're going to do it. All right, so they can just do it. That's fine. They'll tap, make some more mana. Like they have to get to 40, but they're going to get damn close. Like I could have in response to Karn, Vial, and Trickster, but it's not. It's pretty meaningless at this point. Look, they're fucking cast. Oh god, they cast another Grim Monolith, so they are definitely gonna have 40 mana this turn. So, the only thing is the amount of time it's taking them to do this. So, but at least for everybody who hasn't seen this before, if you're like new to Legacy, this is like this is educational. I just realized that this was out of frame a little bit. I normally try to line it up with my camera here. Like they had a fucking turn 1 defense grid. Like what are we gonna do? If it's gonna cost them half of their time just to win once, then clocking them is definitely a thing that could happen. So for actually fighting it out here does make a difference. Like I said, this isn't an incredibly click heavy deck. You have lots of clicks to do with the forge and lots of clicks to do with the ballista. The paradox engine makes you untap and have to retap stuff. So yeah, they've already burned like almost half of their time in just game 1. Which means if we can hold game 2 and then go to like a game 3, then we have a very very good chance that time is not on their side. But also, like, this is just a match where you just have to side in enough forces and hope that's enough. That's it. Um, Hullbreacher does not really do anything against them because they don't draw cards. They just cast stuff from the top of their deck. So, there we go. Alright. So, definitely force. We want this. They can't cast spells from libraries is actually an effect that we would care about. They have answers to this, I believe. Like, they can win through this, but this will make it an uphill battle for them. Like, they can't actually use Mystical Forge to cast stuff from the top of their deck as long as this is in play. And as for everything else, we just take out, like, the top end of our curve, I think. That's pretty much how it goes here. I think I leave in Brazen Borrower just because bouncing some of their stuff is worth a little bit. Just do it like this. All right. Let's roll. Hopefully, now, yeah, we know what we're up against here, so we have to keep a hand that has at least 1 or 2 forces in it. That's the plan. Ideally, anyway. Like, we have to have something to stop them, because, like, they as you see, they can combo out, like, you know, we were all but locked out in, like, turn 2. So, it's incredibly devastating when that happens, but having enough forces here can definitely slow them down, and I think Cage is going to slow them down a bit too. Definitely want to keep in Trickster because of Urza's Saga, and same thing with Tideshaper. Like, Tideshaper can nail Urza's Saga and slow them down a bit. Urza's Saga, if it ever gets to Chapter 3, finds them the manifold or voltaic keys that they need, so don't want to let that happen. I would love to be in the play. I actually, like, this isn't that bad. I think I keep this. And what's going to happen here is I'm going to actually lead off with Grafdigger's Cage. Because I want to keep the Tideshaper. I'll cast this in, like, turn 3. I'll play Lord of Atlantis and then Tideshaper in turn 3, along with the Mutavault. Because that gives them time in case they cast Urza, or if they play Urza Saga, then it gives me more chance to use Tideshaper kicked. I guess, yeah, they even if, like, you know, they can't combo with Forge, they still have lines with Karn where they can, like, just get Ballista, even if it's not infinite or going through their whole deck. Still possible. See, look, they play the Saga now, so I can just kill this thing in my turn. Hope of Garapure, huh? Yeah, that card's pretty good. I think I might actually just play Mutavault here. And cast with Kicker. Let's just try to slow them down. This was very good for them on turn 1 because it can attack us and turn off our forces. And when it turns off our forces on the critical turn where they want to go for something. Like, if they want to stick a Karn, they can just sacrifice this and we're screwed by it. So the ideal thing is if we can pick up, like, Merfolk Trickster or Brazen Borrower and in conjunction with a force, then we can actually stop that and then just kind of blow them out that way. But right now, our hand does not look like it's going to get to that point. Island draw was not really what we want here. He's definitely, like, thinking, and it is burning his time. So probably play Lord of Atlantis this turn. I can't imagine, like, unless I draw, like, I don't know. I'm not sure what else I could draw that would really make a difference. Grim Monolith. Yeah, that's not great. Well, they have the fucking combo here. They can just stick Karn right now if they want to, but if they were going to do that, they should have attacked me with this Hope first. It seems incredibly dangerous. Like, what if I have a force? Like, you're just letting me use it. Sure, yeah, that's a thing. Come on. I have 2 cards. This definitely should have attacked. Like, you're not blocking with it, so there's no point in not attacking. Like, why is this card in your deck if you didn't attack with it last turn? Come on. It's ridiculous. It's fine. If they want to use up all their time in this, that is totally okay with me. Our best draw would probably be like... Probably Brazen Borrower. Maybe Merfolk Trickster. And we have to just hope that this is slowing them down enough where they can't actually get through this. Because if they're relying on Mystic Forge, then this is turning that off. Like, they can make a ton of mana here, but I just need them to not have, like, I don't know, Walking Ballista or Karn, basically. But I think the dangerous thing for them is they're putting themselves in a position where they kind of have to win this game, because as their time is dwindling down, if for some reason they lose this game, they may not have enough time to win a game 3. So that appears to be where we're heading. Again, attack with the hope first. This turns off Force of Will. You don't know that I don't have a force in my hand. Like, unless you're stream sniping me or something, like, there is no reason for you not to be attacking with this. It just defeats the entire purpose of even siding this card in. Like, it's so incredibly bad, it's difficult for me to believe that it is by accident that you're not attacking with it. I don't know why you would do this, like, in your first main phase and not your second main phase. Like, do you not know what it does? Like, you have to know, because you played it on, like, turn 1, so clearly it means something. I'm sure that you sided it in, so yes, come on, you can do it. I believe in you. But, by doing this in your main phase, you wasted a mana off of this for some reason, which I don't understand. Yeah, no, this is exactly what you should be doing. Even if you're not going to sacrifice it, it has flying and you're not going to block with it, so get in the damage with it at least. Okay, so they're going for a force, or yeah, they want to protect their spells from force right now. It's perfectly reasonable. But they definitely should have gotten in the extra damage with this. So there goes City of Traders. So sacrificing this. Okay, you get Karn. So you have 5 mana off of every spell that you cast. So they're getting Ensnaring Bridge. That makes sense. You definitely are interested in slowing me down. Well, that's not a bad one to draw here, at least. I can't attack with anything, so we just have to pass. And I guess at least if we draw a force next turn, we could actually cast it. Which would be ideal. Because at this point, if we can just drag the game out for 6 minutes, we win. So we might have to get Walking Ballista. Got Mycosynth Lattice. Okay, so they're just going to go for a Lattice. Okay. Can you actually, like, win the game in 6 minutes? I guess we're going to find out. All right, let's see. What do you got? 5 minutes. Find an answer to this and still kill me. We are not doing anything for the rest of this game. We're just trying to see if the opponent can actually win this in time. Yeah, can't actually attack because of the ensnaring bridge, so that's kind of cute. All right. See, so they used about 30 seconds in that turn and didn't really accomplish anything. Okay, well, let's see how this ends. I can't use the Force because the Mycosynth Lattice makes it colorless. They're just killing off all my lands now. Sign of Defiance. I'm going to play lands. They burned another 30 seconds. Ratchet Bomb. Okay. So I guess their plan is they're gonna try to they're gonna use Ratchet Bomb to kill off Grafdigger's cage. Okay, this is smart. Still can't attack because of the bridge, though. Well, they have just over 2 minutes left to figure out an answer. They're just digging with Mystic Forge now and hoping that they can find, like, Ballista, I guess. Alright, it's going to be close to see if they have enough time to actually do all the clicking they need to do, so... I guess we're going to find out! Alright, so here's the real way they should go about doing this to maximize time. If they find the Ballista, what they want to do is turn the Ensnaring Bridge into a creature, cast Ballista on X equals 6, and then deal 3 damage to the Ensnaring Bridge, and then attack me with the 2 constructs. That would optimize the amount of time. You're at 36 seconds. Do you have the time? They have another Karn, but I don't know. It's going to be really close. Can they click it enough times? They only have 10 seconds left. Can you... I don't think they're going to make it. Close, but no cigar. The opponent has run out of time and lost the match. It was a very valiant effort. They were on the brink of being able to get there, but this is the thing. Like that, one of the disadvantages of that deck is that it costs a lot of time to play it, so it's very click heavy online. A lot of the stuff you can shortcut in paper, but MTGO is its own game, and MTGO has a clock rule, and part of the clock rule is being able to manage your clock properly. So definitely a very good game by opponent, but it came down to like a matter of seconds. Like, you know, just a few seconds more, they might have been able to get there. But I'm sorry, they couldn't get it in time. So we end up 3-2. It's not bad considering, like, I think the mirror or the fourth round, right? I think I could, if I had cast the Tide Shaper and nailed the white lands, like there's a reasonable chance that I could have won that match. So it was close. I mean, and the Maverick match, that it's not a good match, but like still, like we weren't completely shut out of that. Like there definitely were points where like we could have come back in that, and you know, in both games. So I don't feel like this was like a shutout by any means. I think overall, like this did perform pretty well. So the only thing I would look at is maybe like I'm not sure if gut shots necessarily what we need. Could consider something like Null Rod in the sideboard. Maybe find a slot for 1 or 2 of those. Null Rod's pretty good. Maybe cut like 1 Grafdigger's Cage and 1 Gut Shot and play 2 Null Rods. then that Null Rod's a really good card to bring in versus decks like the last one we were just at. It's also reasonably good against stuff like taxes, because it turns off like any of the equipment. If they want to play like a Jite or a sword, then turns that off, or like Batter Skull. They can't like bounce it. Hits Aether Vial. Um, it's good. Like I said, it's good against all like the artifact decks, which there's a fair bit. But also very notably, it's good against Storm, and it gets through Defense Grid, which a lot of those decks are playing. So turns off like all their mana sources and everything that's relevant to their deck, and it's not doing. You're not casting a spell in their turn. So I could see that being a change that I might make. Maybe like cut one of each of these and then play 2 Null Rods. I could get away with 2 Gut Shots because I also have 2 Vapor Snags to go with it. Gut Shot's just really good at like picking off stuff like Mother of Runes. When they play it, you really want to be able to kill it, or even like Thalia. Being able to kill Thalia, in before the first strike ends up screwing you is helpful. Other than that, I thought this list felt like pretty competent. So yeah, I think I'd be interested in playing this again. Legacy is fun. Like it definitely like it hasn't always been like reasonably well balanced, but we'll see how this meta shakes out. Like so far, I had fun playing Magic tonight. That's something that not always the case, especially if you're playing like degenerate modern nonsense. But surprisingly, like no, today I think we had a good time playing Legacy. So I am very much thinking about running a very very similar list to this in Philadelphia. So we'll see how that turns out. Also, if you're gonna go there, please let me know. Like come find me. We'll like hang out for a bit. Yeah, I'm curious. So if you see this and post in the comments, like if you're gonna go, you can hit me up. I should be there. That's my plan at the moment, unless something goes catastrophically wrong. So yeah, and also like I said, if you're gonna go, you should probably consider registering soon because it's not an infinite cap event. They are gonna cap it. Like Modern has already been capped or very close to it. I don't know if it's actually reached it. I think yesterday's when I read it, he said it's like really, really close to being full. Legacy was like getting there, so I'm assuming maybe that means it's like halfway there or something like that. So, like I said, pre-registration's your friend, and also means you can submit deck lists early. That's also huge, huge thing. If you're playing tournaments, have your deck list before you go to the tournament. That is like one of the most important things I can tell you to do. Do the work before you end up being there, and you will save yourself so much like stress while you're there. So yeah, that's all I got for today. So everybody, thank you for coming and checking this out tonight. I will be doing more Final Fantasy over the next few days because I'm trying to get that all finished up. So with that, that's all I got for today. So see you everybody. I'll see you next time.